Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I'm Reverend Tiffany White, Sage Woman, and I'm very excited to be here with each and every one of you this evening. So thank you. This is a TV and radio show. So if you would like to call in this evening, it is encouraged because of my special guest. He will actually be giving some life path readings. He's a numerologist. So if you provide him with your birth date, he will give you just a snippet of what's called a life path reading. And if you would like to schedule a longer session with him, then you could do so. But I highly encourage you to call in and talk with my special guest this evening, with both of us. The call-in number is 323-870-3791. Please call in early to reserve your spot on the switchboard, because the calls are taken in order that they are received. So you want to get on early to make sure that you get your life path reading from Michael. So before I bring on my very special guest, I would like to open it like I usually do, open the show. Just welcome everyone and see how we're all recovering from high energy, high vibration. It's been very intense lately, hasn't it? So it's I'm sorry. Just reading a message from my special guest, making sure that everything is all good to go. It's all good. So he's giving some great ideas on how to increase viewers. Anyway, and participation. So, and let me address that actually before I go any further, is that this is radio and TV. It's two separate things. If you listen on radio, you can also, or you can watch on TV by going to the Goldylocks Productions website. And it's Goldylocks with a Y. Goldylocks Productions CT for Connecticut.com. Go to the TV tab and you will be able to watch the show live as it is being streamed. And if you log into or create an account with Ustream, you will be able to chat in the chat room as well. And I do recommend that you take the time to, if not tonight, then in the future, please sign up an account, get an account with Ustream so that you are able to log in and participate in chat. Because I'm going to have some TV shows where the radio, the call-in is not activated, and so we're looking for participation from those in chat only. And we have a lot of great TV-only shows coming up. So I highly recommend that you take the time. It takes about 5 minutes maybe to create an account, and then you'll be able to get right in and chat with everyone. All right, so on with the show. So I was talking about all the crazy energies. The first, it was the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse with the full moon. Just wow. Go from one extreme to the next, right? Really high energy, which may be feeling kind of sluggish or tired, or just be gentle with yourself, and it's okay. All right, and know that everything is going to be, we're going to get through it all. We're all going to get through it. And another good news is that I do believe in 2 days, or Mercury goes direct again. And not that it's instantaneous. You know, Mercury doesn't look at the calendar and go, oh, look, we're going direct right now. That's not how it works. It usually takes a little bit of time to really be clear of Mercury retrograde. And that takes, I would just say, safe zone, wait till October 1st before signing any major contracts or doing anything new. And I do have to, I'm going to bring this up, is a very good question was asked to me during the Mercury retrograde. Actually, it was a family member had asked, hey, you know, they had roof damage from hailstorm, and they wanted to know if it was okay to get that work done, that type of contract. And absolutely, emergency repair that's needed. You don't no one needs to wait until Mercury goes direct to do something like that. But I can understand the question, and I remember a time when I would have asked that myself. The thing is that you already own the house. The house is yours. It's existing. You're not replacing the whole roof. You're doing a repair work. That's absolutely fine and necessary. So I just wanted to just kind of bring that up a little bit and talk about that for those who maybe considered, oh my goodness, what happens if this? Emergency repairs, listen to what I'm saying, is fine. It's fine, because that means that whatever you're repairing is yours, is already existing. Okay? So, you're okay. But it was a very valid question, because like I said, I remember in first, I don't want to say being experienced to everything in Mercury retrograde, I would have asked that same question as well, just to be thorough, just to make sure. And but you can also always, I hope, checking in with your angels and spirit guide, with your team, with your cosmic team, to asking questions and receiving answers. So, all right. So I like to always start off with a crystal message and power animal message. So the crystal message this evening is black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is the crystal message this evening, as the crystal and the gemstone. And I'm just saying hello to someone in the TV chat. So there we go. And welcome those in the TV chat coming in. Yay! All right. So black tourmaline. Now I have a huge chunk of black tourmaline. And I actually have it in the north sector of my house. And why do I say north and use a little bit of feng shui here? Is the north sector of the house is business and money. And why did I put that there? Well, it's black. It's very beautiful. The coloring in the black tourmaline has some white in it. You just need to Google it if you're not familiar with it. Black tourmaline. And it's a stone of luck and happiness. It assists with protection and provides good fortune. Good fortune, yeah, I want that in my money sector of the home, which is the north. And especially I work out of my home, so I make sure that my office area, which is ideal for me, is in the southwest. But the north part of my office, I have some prosperous stones that really support abundance and prosperity. So, no, I'm not being distracted. I welcome comments. I think that's great. And I'm just going to give the call-in number again. It's 323-870-3791, so that callers can come on in and get their numerology reading, is what it is. Just a brief, not a real long one, because you can be very, very thorough with numerology. I'll get back to that in a moment. But anyway, black tourmaline, great. Assists with protection. Who doesn't need more protection? And great with and provides good fortune. So assists with that. So the power animal message now is oyster. How about that? Oyster. And what the oyster represents, and the symbolism and the messages that the oyster provides, is that it's the ability to figure out life's static and confusion. Understand when to close doors and to prevent energy loss. Yeah, the oyster is a good representation of when it's time to close the door Prevent energy loss, which is very much just knowing to walk away from something, and if you want to call that protection, where when we're in the upper vibrations, we are protected. All right. And so that's why I always like to communicate with your angel committees, your angelic committees, and your guides, your cosmic spiritual team, and you're in the upper vibrations, and you know when to walk away, and that it's okay to walk away, and to prevent energy loss from allowing to be around energy vampires who suck your energy. All right, so also too, there's a sensitivity to environmental changes, and we have a lot of environmental changes going on. We do live, yes, in a toxic environment, but even environmental changes and shifts as far as what's going on right now environmentally that's affecting Mother Earth. It's affecting all of us. Let me tell you this, all of us, not just the native tribe, but the human tribe. How about that? Humanity tribe. Us, our whole tribe together. And I'm talking about the North Dakota pipeline proposal. They are not there protesting, and I love how the media always say they're protesting. It's very peaceful. They are not trespassing at all. And they're making a peaceful presentation. They are speaking for and representing Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and how we all are connected. They're speaking for each and every one of us. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. And you don't think that it doesn't affect you. It does affect you. Or it really does. It doesn't have to happen in your hometown. It doesn't have to happen in your front or backyard. We feel that energetic vibration have like a domino effect. We can feel something that happens on the other side of the world. We can feel it. All right. We feel that vibration, that wave. So it's very important that we all are supportive and watch what's happening. We do not need to be stuck in old world thinking of fossil fuels. There has been around, all I gotta do is say Nikola Tesla right there had the plan. But what happened? Greedy corporate, greedy business. No. We want to make money off this. Make money and harm the earth at the same time. Well, you know what? We're moving into different times now where it no longer supports that. So, lots of changes, lots of great changes, because we are in the fifth dimension, whether you like it or not. So we're going to have profound changes. All right, back to the oyster. Sensitivity to environmental changes. Maintenance and care of our outer wall or protection, which is our energy and our aura. We most definitely want to always make sure we're checking in with our chakras and our aura. And this is a time of expansion, so we are expanding. And the creation of pure and balance, of pure and clean and balance. So balance. Do you see how it all really comes together? And it's just so beautiful. It really is. So that's the like I said, just to recap, because I see we get some more, getting some more listeners and some more viewers on TV. The crystal message for this week was black tourmaline, the power animal oyster. And you can watch the beginning of this if you missed anything, or listen to the radio archive, however you would like to do that. Listen to the radio audio archive, or just watch the TV show later on. It's up to you. There's choices, so many choices. Oh my goodness. All right, so I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my special guest. After a sip of water. Sacred water. That's the theme. Sacred water. Bless and protect our waters, our water source. All right. So I would like to introduce a very special guest. Last time he was on was July, and he is on the third Tuesday of each month. But last month, I believe I wasn't feeling well, needed a night off, so he wasn't on in August. But I do believe since springtime, he has been coming on the third Tuesday of the month. He is my special guest, my numerology guy. And of course, I'm talking about Michael John Fierro, and he's been working with numerology since 1984. He has worked with thousands of clients, as well as giving hundreds of lectures around the country. He is a frequent guest on radio shows and is known for his depth of knowledge and insights about numerology. He is the author of You Know Your Name, Now Look Up Your Numbers. It's Introduction to Numerology, Volume 1. And here's the book. Trying to get the glare off of it. Look how thick it is. It's a really good, thick book. It will be your resource book. All right. And Michael is available for private consultations, parties, and corporate events. And while he currently resides at the Jersey Shore, he will soon be embarking on long road trips and looking for bookstores and centers around the country at which he can present lectures and book signings. Sounds like a great retirement plan. Oh, write some more books, do some book tours, tour the country, lecture some more. Sounds great. All right, so without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on a very special guest, Michael John Fierro. Hello, Michael. How are you, dear?
Very well, and yourself?
I'm doing well. So nice to have you on the show again.
Nice to be back. Are you feeling better?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. I think last month was where a lot of energy really caught up with me. That was, for me, August was a hard month energetically. But we got through it, survived. So how are you? What have you been up to? Been hanging out at the beach?
Every chance I get.
Yeah.
What beach we have left?
Yeah.
It's getting destroyed with these storms, and I guess there's another storm coming up the coast again, so
Oh, yeah.
we'll lose a little more beachfront.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy the beach.
Yeah. Well, that's good. We've had a nice summer for that, too. To support beach weather.
Yes.
So just would like to remind our listeners again,
Well,
you
we're
can...
lucky I'll be able to go through October, you know?
Oh, right. Well, sure.
Are we on a delay?
If you are watching on TV and on the radio, yes, there is a delay between radio and TV. So it will look like you're watching a Japanese film. where the mouth doesn't...
Joy of life.
Yeah, where it doesn't seem...
Right. It's like watching the Japanese version of Godzilla.
Exactly, yes. So, but if Godzilla shows up, hey, we got bigger issues.
Well, if you want to come wreck my town, you're welcome.
Oh, wow. So that's the only thing if you're watching both at the same, or if you're listening to radio or on radio and watching TV. If you don't need to be on radio, and Michael needs to be on radio because so that we can take some callers, but I do recommend the sound is great, which you could just listen through TV if that's an option for those viewing. Not you, Michael. We need you to come in loud and clear on both TV and radio, and that's what you're doing right now. So I just would like to remind everyone to call in 323-870-3791. Be sure to press 1 to take you out of listen mode only. or listen only mode, I should say, and so that you can ask your questions to Michael. You can get a mini life path reading, and I say mini. You just give the date of your birth, and he can just give you a sample. And I have to tell you, I had an hour session with him, a numerology reading, and we could have gone longer. It just blew me away on how accurate. And I've followed astrology and numerology for years, but I don't want to say his version, but it's his insight of numerology is so profound, and it just really it really struck a chord with me and really resonated with me. And he puts it in really simple verbiage. It's not hard to understand at all. Very, very easy. And he covers a lot of things in his book. I tell you, it's a very interesting read. And I tell you that it's going to be one of your resource guides, because I always refer back to it as well. And he tells you how to, and he provides you with a chart and how you can even go through the chart and figure it out yourself. Lots of great things in the back too. It's not just numerology. Okay, that's it. He has a lot of fun things. Universal years. Talks about, I like to, the numbers in food, the numbers in gemstones and crystals. It just blows my mind. He puts it in different languages too. I mean, as far as in figuring out your name, the different alphabets. So if you have a Spanish name, a Hebrew name, French name, it's just very thorough to me. Very thorough. So I definitely recommend it. And the book is on sale. Wow, special pricing, 25% off all readings until September 30th. Contact him. Tell him that you watched or listened to the Spiritual Insight Show and you want to take advantage of this deal. All right, his website's right there for those of you in chat, but for those of you who's going to be listening in archive and do not see any links, the website is his name, full name, Michael John Fierro, FIERRO.com. All right, and check it out. Special pricing, 25% off all readings, like I said, until September 30th. And the book is on sale for $15. No, the chat isn't open on the radio side because the chat is open on TV. But what I'm talking about, the links on radio, is that there's a bio. If you scroll up, you can see like a snippet of the show, and that's where your link, Michael, that's where your website is listed. So even those that go back and listen to it in archive on the computer will see the your information. But we will go ahead and promote as well after the show, and just for like the next days and weeks, promote your sale, because this is if you would like to do that, or if you just want to do it a show sale only, or you keep having the promotion, we can just let me know and we'll just put it out there. So, but that's his regular price is a deal. So yeah, you'd have to jump on this. It's really great, and let me because look at the times that we're in. So it's Michael, would you think that we're in a revolutionary type of of energetic times?
Yeah. And part of that is, we're in a non-universal year, so this is, we've only got a few more months left here, but we need to discard the old. We really need to get rid of the stuff that doesn't serve us anymore and find new and better ways of doing things. I think part of why we're seeing so much ugliness and dissension and all that is all of that stuff, which is somewhat embedded in the culture of this country, needs to be done away with. And the only way, for the most part, a lot of this stuff has been underground time. And so because it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and people don't really deal with it, they don't even give it a second thought. But now it's been, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's being thrown in our face, and we're being forced to deal with it. You know, the determining factor is how are we going to deal with it? Are we going to find this acceptable and continue, or are we going to collectively rise up and say, this is not us, this is not what this country represents, this is not what we as a society represent, and do something about it? And at times, I got to say, I'm a little discouraged with the attitudes and even the way it's being covered, and the fact that people just seem to be getting away with stuff. The media has just dropped the ball totally. Mm-hmm. And, you know, again, it's a matter of us really taking a long, hard look at things and saying this is not acceptable, this can be no more. Because if we don't do something about it, if we don't revolutionize and evolve, then my fear is that things are going to get much, much worse, which is always the situation in a 9-year, where at the end of the cycle, it is a time to take an inventory and an assessment of what works and what doesn't work. And we need to get rid of those things that don't serve the higher and common good. If we don't, then moving into the next 9-year cycle, which will begin on January 1st, these things are going to exacerbate. And if they exacerbate, boy, it's frightening to conceive of the possible ramifications of the ugliness getting uglier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that, though, might have to happen before we get to that other side of betterment?
Yeah, yes, because we can't just say, oh, yeah, okay, and then move forward as if nothing's going on. This is certainly a situation where, you know, clean out the attic and the basement and get rid of all this stuff. And at least come to some consensus in this country that these changes are necessary. And it's not even only in this country, it's worldwide. If we don't really begin to grasp the concept that we're all brothers and sisters and we're all in this together, and we're dirtying our own home by the way we behave, then who knows? You know, in many ways I see this at times as kind of the battle between the good and the evil, the light and the dark. And reading some of what I read, it does get discouraging. It really does. I mean, I'm to the point where I'm about ready to resign from Facebook because I just can't psychically handle the amount of ugliness that is out there, and that people seemingly have no problem putting out and thinking it's okay.
Right. Oh, yes, so. Yeah. And that's the thing is, okay, you know, we recommend people just who are very sensitive, don't watch the news, don't read the newspapers, but you know what? It's just as bad in social media, depending, you know, the circles. I mean, it doesn't matter. Social media, it's still media. And
right.
Yeah.
It's the media of the people, and the people, again, people who've never had a loud voice now have a loud voice. They now have a platform where they can spew all of this crap. And, you know, the fact that the Trump candidacy is bringing the white supremacist movement out of the shadows, where they're declaring that this is, you know, the way to be, and he's the man that speaks for us. That's a frightening proposition. And this just xenophobia and all the rest of the stuff that's going on. I mean, yeah, we knew it was here. Did we know it was this deeply embedded? I'm unsure. And the fact that it's to a degree being tolerated, it's like watching a a bad reality TV show. And I think that part of the problem in this country is we have become so inured to ugliness that people don't even give it a second thought anymore. I'm not even sure people even think it's real.
Right, yeah.
There are situations where people get away with the most because they figure, okay, well, people aren't really believing this, so we can just slip in anything we want, and by the time they figure it out, it's going to be too late. And that's the fear, is that people will not realize until it is too late, and then we're really going to be in trouble. Yeah, people can vote for Trump because, he represents change. But you better give long, hard thought to what the result of that will be.
Right, what kind of change?
And where we will be a year down.
There's good change and then there's bad change.
Yeah. And this isn't one of those things where we can do, an Emily Littell and say, never mind. I mean, if he gets elected, he's elected.
Right. Well,
and then you're going to really have to deal with it. And, I don't know. Again, there's times I just want to go off and hide and just pray that it blows over.
Right, yeah. I do want to remind the callers that call in, you need to press 1 if you would like to ask a question. Otherwise, you're going to remain in listen mode only. I do see we have some callers in listen mode. So press 1 if you would like to ask a question. You could get a mini reading, a life path reading with Michael. He would just need your birth date, okay, your full birth date. So for those of you who are interested in that, just press 1 on your phone there, where you're calling in from, and we'll be able to get you on. Okay, oh, there we go. That seems to work. We have some people now pressing 1. All right, Michael, so you ready to, let's take some calls?
Certainly.
All right, I know that darn delay. Okay, so the first caller is area code 347. Welcome to the show. May we get your name and your full birthday?
My name is Tanika, and my full birthday is September the 3rd, 1978.
Okay. Great. Wow, so you had a birthday at the beginning of the month, huh? Woohoo!
Yes, I did.
I hope you had a very nice birthday.
Yeah. It was pretty nice, yeah. It was nice.
I had one too. You didn't wish me happy birthday.
Well.
Oh, happy birthday.
No, I'm talking to Tiffany. But thank you.
Happy birthday. Did I miss your birthday, Michael? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I think it was probably the one day I wasn't on Facebook, right? Okay, so Tanika, what?
It was September 11th.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay, so Tanika, what question do you have, or what focus of your life did you want Michael to kind of tap into?
I'd like to focus on love, life for me, and relationship, and children and marriage. That's where I'd like to hear what you see with that.
Are you in a relationship now?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, first of all, you have a one life path. So you're very much your own person. You're very much a person who's an initiator. There's an independence about you that needs to be honored, not only by you, but the people in your life. So if you're in a relationship, you're going to need someone who can respect that and honor that part of you. You're currently in a 3 personal year, so you just went into it. So this is very much a social year for you. It's certainly a year where you may you'll have greater opportunity to come in contact with people, better opportunities to be participating in social activities and whatnot, which will also obviously afford you opportunities to come across people. The caution here is in a 3-year to be very careful of third-party manipulation of your affairs. if you're in a situation with someone where there may be some discord or discontent or upset, be certain that it's not someone on the periphery that's causing the problems for you. Okay? Now, for you with relationships, there's a couple of things here. Do you come out of a home where there was a divorce or separation or loss of a parent?
And I was really, really, really young, like my mom and father stopped being together.
Yeah, they got what?
My mother and my father separated when I was like 2 years old. And he's remarried and so's my mother. So, yeah.
Okay, because that shows in your chart you have a 6 challenge in the first position. This next question is going to be a little personal, so if you don't exactly want to answer, I understand. Was there some level of abuse in your home growing up, and the abuse would have been more along the lines of mental, emotional, verbal, or spiritual?
But, yeah, for me, I felt like that in my teenage years from my family. I mean, I was a rebellious teen, but they don't know that a lot of stuff is still with me.
Okay. Well, you need to be careful that you don't carry any, for lack of a better word, scars into your own relationships. The scars from the broken home situation that you grew up in. You need to be very careful of that. And the 6 challenge also indicates, too, that you need to be very careful of codependent relationships and codependent situations. You need to make sure that for your part on a relationship, that you're in it for what it will bring to your life, not that it needs to, that it's a necessity that you can't live without. And you also need to be very careful that you don't attract to you people who are of that same kind of mindset of needing you, that they can't live without you. Because the 6 challenge will always bring about those kinds of relationships. So you need to be very self-aware and then also tuned into whomever it is you may be dating. You have a 2 lifetime challenge. So your biggest challenge in life is in the realm of relationships and partnerships. It's going to take some work on your part to really make a relationship work. It's imperative for you in all relationship situations that you take the time to better understand whomever you're involved with, that you allow them the latitude to be who they are. It's important that there's a lot of self-expression involved there so you can speak your mind freely and safely as can the other individual. But if you can overcome any difficulties there, then you'll be fine. The other part with you with that 6 challenge is you're not always right. So you need to be able to and willing to give others the latitude to express themselves and express their opinions without telling them they're wrong. You also have a 4 challenge, which is in your second position. So on top of any situations there that may have to do with codependency or things like that, you need to be very careful of control issues. You yourself may be somewhat controlling at times. And again, as is the way with all things, what we are, we tend to attract. So you need to be careful that you don't attract to you someone who is controlling, who attempts to, govern and rule every aspect of your life, thereby stifling you as an individual. Okay? When you're 22, you just turned 38?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The good news is the first 30 years of your, first 35 years of your life may not have necessarily been a good time for a relationship for you. And I speak of this from first-hand experience because my birthday is also in September. And those of us who were born in September, we were the first cycle of our life, and we all have 3 cycles of our lives determined by month, day, and year of birth. So when you're born in September, your first cycle is at 9. And 9 in numerology, amongst other things, is a number of endings. So for the first, in your case, 35 years of your life, and again, this applies to anybody born in September, a lot of what we go through in that first cycle of our life is finishing up business that we carried into this lifetime with us. So what we have to deal with for that period of time is a lot of very intense situations, perhaps, and many of them may be very short-lived. People come and go, situations come and go, they're real intense, they kind of, knock us back a little bit, and then they're gone. And part of that is that fact that we are finishing up whatever needed to be finished up with that individual. So actually you're in a much better period of time now, because when you turn 36, you went into your second cycle, which is also a 3. So there's greater opportunity now for your life to be to expand. There's better opportunities for you to become self-expressive, to gain confidence in yourself, and to work on things that have a lot to do with self-expression, be they written or verbal or artistic or whatever the case may be. So again, know this, that the worst period of your life has somewhat passed. So moving forward, your chances, I believe, are far better for you in perhaps finding a relationship that works for you. And again, I caution you that you will have some difficulties in relationships until you overcome all of those aspects of the challenges that I explained. Okay?
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
The number 11 plays a big part in my life, because in 2013, I kept seeing the number 1111 on the clock, and I had thought that I was going to die. I was just going through a period where I felt like whoever I was about to come to an end. And I met someone that year. When I kept seeing it, I kept wishing for God to send me someone that would stay. Then I met someone that year, and his date of birth actually added up to 1111. He was born on an 11 day, and his date of birth also added up to an 11. So I passed, and we fell in love, and it was a really intense relationship. And we separated in August 2014. Ever since then, I never forgot about this person. And I don't know why it is. We talked about marriage and children, and since then I've dated, of course, and right now I'm not. So for some reason, like, it's always still been him, and I don't know what it means. If it means that we're not done, or if he's going to come back, or I don't know why even still talk about this person.
Well, you met him and when in 2013 did you meet him, before or after your birthday?
After.
Okay, so you met him in your 9 personal year. Okay, in numerology, in your life, we all go through these repeating cycles of 9 years. We go through these 9-year cycles, just one right after the other. And I use the analogy of a garden. In a 1 year, you plant your garden, and if you tend to in each succeeding year, in the 8th and 9th year, you will reap what you have sown. But also part of the 9 years that you rid yourself of things that don't serve you well. And also starting things under a 9 vibration don't necessarily portend a long life. So when you met this individual, you met him under, for you vibrationally, a 9, an ending vibration. So that could explain why it was somewhat short-lived. Without knowing your entire chart and his entire chart, I really couldn't give you any further information as to compatibility or any other dynamic associated with that. Okay? And not all numbers get along with one another. And in numerology, when I do compatibility charts, I take your chart and his chart, and the difference between the numbers are the issues of contention. These are the areas where you're going to have problems. These are the things you're going to fight over. Sometimes, again, they're just not destined to be because the conflicts are too great. But again, you started in a 9, so I'm not surprised that it didn't last. As far as 1111, there's a lot of school of thought as to what that number represents. For me, numerologically, it doesn't necessarily have a great deal of meaning, but my understanding, my belief with numbers that constantly show up in our lives, whether it's however it shows up, it's an indication that your angelic group is with you and they're letting you know that they're nearby. You're going to have to learn to trust yourself on things. And again, timing is everything. But beginning a relationship, getting married in a 9 year doesn't tend to be conducive to a long life of relationships. Again, you're starting under an ending, so it kind of makes sense in that regard.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Tanika. Thank you so much for calling in, sweetie. And if you would like to get in touch with Michael for he's got a sale, 25% off all readings. So maybe if you want to do like a relationship type of reading, you could do that, a compatibility reading. Michael, please tell her how she can get in touch with you. What's the best way?
Go to my website, which is michaeljohnfierro.com. It's all one word. Fierro is spelled with 2 R's. And just go to products and services. Go to the link for that, and you can book right through that. Once I receive notification of payment, I contact you to schedule. And all of my readings are, other than the written reports that I offer, all of my numerology sessions I do using an online service, so it's recorded. So when we're done, you get an MP3 file of the session, so you'll always have it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? All right?
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks again, Tanika. Many blessings, dear.
I'll keep listening.
Yes. Oh,
Thanks.
thank you, hon. And also, too, Tanika, I know you're still listening. I want to talk a little bit about control. That's hard to hear. So, you're controlling. But I have to tell you, I've been there and I've done that. I'm guilty of it. And I, too, came from a childhood where the parents were separated and divorced at a young age. And it's funny how we sit there and how do we get into the controlling situations is by, I don't want that. I'm not going to repeat what my parents did. I'm not going to do this. And when we concentrate on what we don't want and what we're not going to do, guess what happens? It's like a bug to a bug light. We end up going right to doing what we say and experiencing what we don't want to. And that's by us. There's a difference between being focused and controlling. And there's a difference, too, between controlling and command from the heart. So I realized that when I was controlling, it's from the mind, from fear. I don't want this out of fear. But as soon as you make commands on what you want from your heart, watch things change. Watch how powerful it is. Then when it's right in line with your numbers, boom. It really accelerates really fast. So it's... I just wanted to give you a little bit about that, is that, sister to sister, I understand. I've been there. I've done that. And that it's not such a bad thing. Let's just shift from control to command. And I feel you're in that now. You have worked past so much. You really have worked through a lot. And pat yourself on the back, Tanika. You've done really great. All right, now we have one more caller. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more caller. We've got 10 minutes left. Let's see if we can go for area code 818. Welcome to the show. You're on the air. May we get your name and full birth date?
Well, hello there. It's Anthony. It's Walking Crow.
Hi, Anthony. I was looking at that number going, that number is so familiar. Hell.
I decided to reach out and listen in to what you were doing, and I saw numerology, and I thought, I'm calling it because I know very little about it.
Wow.
And I notice numbers and pay attention and all that stuff.
Well, prepare to be amazed. Michael is amazing. If you want to give him your birth date, he can give you a snippet.
Well, yeah, I was only born in 1982, so no, I'm just kidding.
No, just
my birthday is 2/24/1961.
61, 61.
Yes, sir.
No way, Anthony. You are 5 years older. You're 5 years older than me, and you look so young. Good for you. Good for you. I think that's wonderful. Yay! I would have never guessed that.
Well, Anthony, you have a 7 life path. So there's a part of you that's very much a seeker. 7 is the number of mathematics and science, research, analysis. In ancient times, the 7s were considered mystics. They were immediately put into the temple. So you're a person who in this lifetime has a great intellectual and spiritual curiosity. Now, by nature, you may be somewhat skeptical. You have a tendency not to take anything for face value. And your favorite question is probably why. You need detail. You need understanding. You demand it. And if people, if in the situation, if your mom told you to clean your room, you'd say, why? And she might answer, well, because I said so. And you would say, well, that's all well and good, Mom, but why do I have to clean my room? So you want detail. You want explanation. Now, one of the things that's very important for a 7 is that you learn to trust your instincts. There's a strong intelligence and intellectual component to a 7, but it's important that you don't get too caught up in your head. The worst case scenario with the 7 is that they ask a question, get an answer, and then they question the answer. And they're like a dog chasing a tail after a while because it's a never-ending cycle of questions and answers. So it's very important for you to develop your intuitive side. And as I tell people all the time, the more powerful question in situations is how do I feel about this? Not what do I think, but how do I feel? Because when you ask what do I think about something, you are forming a left brain question that's going to demand a left brain answer. If you ask how do I feel, excuse me, it's more of a right brain activity, which will put you closer in touch with your true self. Now, for you, you have a 6 challenge. Your lifetime challenge is a 6. So as I told the previous caller, and this is even much more important to you, is first of all, you're not always right.
No, never.
Okay? You need to be able to allow other people to express themselves and express their opinions without digging your heels in so deeply and strongly that you're totally unwilling or incapable of accepting any alternative to other than what you believe. Yes, the other part of that 6 challenge is, again, as I said to the previous caller, you need to be careful in relationships. You could have a proclivity to end up in relationships that are codependent. And that doesn't serve anyone in the long run. So you need to be very careful that you use that analytical side part of you to really understand not only yourself but your partner in any and all relationships. You have a 4 challenge in the first position. Did you come out of a home that was very kind of rule-oriented and disciplined? Perhaps one of your parents was in the military or police work or government or something? Was there a lot of rules and regulations growing up?
No, not for me. if there were, I was always breaking them. So.
Okay. Yeah. So you were a little untethered there, too.
I didn't go to private Catholic school, and there was a lot of that there.
Oh, okay. Well, it had to be somewhere. I knew that. Now, well, the 16-7 is also a very karmic number. So you may go through a series of trials and defeats and loss of material security throughout your life. You need to understand that any sudden material or physical upsets are very much the outward manifestation of your emotional discontent.
Yeah.
So it's important that you examine your life and your attitudes. Are you allowing your emotions to dominate what you do? It's really important for the 7 to have understanding of their own actions, and again, also do your best to fully understand the people with whom you are connected, because it'll make it a little bit easier for you. You probably have a very strong desire for freedom, and you get a little impatient if anybody or anything is holding you back. It would be very good for you. Do you meditate at all?
Yeah.
Okay, meditation is a good thing for you. Moments of silence, times of silence are very good for you. And also, you're really not too much of a city person per se. You need what?
I like the solitude of mountains and country and rivers and things like that.
Yeah, and that's where you will thrive. And if you are in any situations where it's a bit overwhelming, let's say you decide I don't know where you live exactly, but you go into the city and it gets a little too much, the easiest way is go hug a tree or get yourself back out into nature, because that's where you'll find your greatest peace and solace is in that area. Now, you're currently in an 8 personal year. So this is a year, again, where you begin to reap what you've sown back in your 1 personal year. It's also time to start looking at, because you're only, 5 months away from your next birthday, which at time you'll go into your 9 personal year. So this is really a time also to start taking, not only to reap what you've sown, but start looking forward to and taking inventory of what's happening in your life and what doesn't serve you. Because in your 9 year, you definitely want to be proactive as much as possible in ridding yourself of those things and people and situations that do not serve you and your highest good. Some of it will disappear on its own, but some of it you're going to have to be proactive on. And as I said to the previous caller, and as I alluded to when I was talking about the 9 years universal year, a 9 year is certainly a year where you want to clear the decks as much as possible. So when you move into your next 9 year cycle, you're not carrying forward a lot of baggage that will only get worse as you move forward.
Yes. Cool.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Anthony. Many blessings, dear.
Talk later.
Yes, okay, hon.
Back at you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Many blessings, my dear brother.
19.
All right. Wow, what a great show. I want to remind everyone of the sale that Michael is having. 25% off all readings until September 30th. And the book is on sale for $15. This thick book. Look at this. And I can tell you, it's just really, really great. You think you know everything about yourself, but it really, it made me giggle, and it made me go, wow, it's so spot on. So please contact him for either a reading or for to get his book. Again, his website is Michael John Fierro, and that's full Michael John FIERRO.com. And thank you so much, Michael, for being a very special guest. It's always a pleasure. And so he'll be back on in October, the 3rd Tuesday of October. So thank you, everyone, for listening, for calling in, for watching on TV. Thank you all so much for sitting in sacred circle with each of us this evening. And may the obstacles to your flight be few and the blessings along your journey be many. Good night, everyone.
10 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you for using
welcome.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.